going on? It's Kevin Kenny for the Build series here in New York City, and our guest today has been on quite the roll. He's right next to me. This is kind of funny to do the intro this way. Since his debut single, Sexual Vibe, dropped late last year, he's here to talk about the new one, Look Away. Please give it up for Stephen Puth.
Thanks. How you doing?
You're like marveling at all the cameras. There's a bunch of cameras in here. I actually didn't realize how many cameras are on Build, but...
Well, it's just weird cause to start from that angle and then I'm looking this way, like looking for the cues.
I know. I never know what to do with my hands, what to do with my... I'll just talk to you. How about
Story
that?
of my life.
Yeah. So it was a late one last night, it sounds like.
No, we just had a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
You know, a lot of promo running around the city. Feeling like a true New Yorker, taking the subway and then getting lost right after. So
yeah.
It was great though. It was just a long night. Yeah.
Dude, how cool was it when you were in some bar, it looked like, and they were playing your song?
I was actually meeting some buddies just for dinner, and we didn't do anything crazy, and yeah, it just popped off.
That's
and
amazing.
It really surprised me. Maybe my friends were playing a fast one, but it just randomly started playing, but none of us had ever been to that bar. I don't know the name of it.
That's crazy. Do you take it, like when that happens, does it take a second to be like, wait a minute, that's me?
Yeah, and then there's that part of me that goes, wow, why did I sing that word like that? I should have done it better.
So you're even critiquing it, like you're a perfectionist even when you hear it back in a bar.
Partially neurotic, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think that's a good thing, though?
Good and bad. You know, I tend to be a little hard on myself, but yeah, I mean, you're always going to look back at something and go, I wish I did it this way, but it is what it is. And it's,
So who's the person in the studio when you're cutting a song that goes, all right, Steven, it's over, it's done? Because you probably just want to keep making...
It's always my friends. I'm pretty quick with vocals. I'm not somebody who's like, here's 100 playlists, just pick word by word. If I sing the phrase right, I'm into it. And then it's always after the fact where I go, I wish I did that differently. But it's not anger. Like
no, right.
Yeah.
It's almost like you get excited probably for the next run.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. It all starts with a melody for you, huh?
Definitely, or try at least.
Well, why is that?
I don't know. Like if you say to somebody, "Oh, you know that song that goes like this," and then you start, you start singing. You're not gonna say the one with the lyrics that are these lyrics.
Right.
You're gonna go the one that's like the do 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 whatever, the melody.
Yeah.
And also like it's the catchy part. I'm okay. I like doing lyrics, but I like melodies more.
Totally.
So.
That's what sticks with you. Do you have any favorite melodies like of all time? Kind of a funny question, but
I mean, as a general art, well, yeah. So the Beatles, obviously, like everything is annoyingly catchy. As soon as the song starts, it's like there's the chorus, and then, but also from a fan perspective, I mean, I love like Van Morrison.
dude.
Like obsessive. I'm obsessive about it.
Then let's talk Van Morrison really quick. What's your favorite Van Morrison?
Well, okay, so there is online. It was take 11 of a demo of Caravan.
Oh, you're a big fan.
I really no, because you can see the progression where you start at take 1 and it's just with the guitar, and then they add an instrument, and then they take away an instrument, and it's just the actual performance is different. But I really like the song, and it stoned me.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's like an album one, but
yeah,
I really like that one.
When you go through like cuts like that, like a take 1 to a take 11, is it just as much a learning experience as it is, something you enjoy doing as just a fan of his music?
I think it's both. I'm also impressed that people would just play top to bottom the song. Now you can stop and be, oh, I want to punch in this part, and I feel like it's kind of cheating, but then again, there's just something really authentic and genuine about just straight through the tape.
Right. What do you try to do? A little bit of both?
Yeah, I always try to, at the very least, when I have to cut vocals, go through as long as I can with a full phrase.
Right.
I don't like doing word by word, but sometimes that happens to be the case. There's nothing wrong with it either. There's no shame.
Yeah.
But I like when it all comes out in one breath for a little bit, yeah.
Totally. You also are a believer in the fact that the best, most powerful songs of all time are born out of love or based in love.
Yeah, one could definitely argue that.
Okay. Would you argue that?
Yeah, I think a lot of songs definitely derive from love, yeah. There's also party songs, like old disco songs that are just party,
Right.
So, but I think love's always a good sentiment that people can rely on. And, yeah, just focusing on the little bits about it and what makes it so fascinating because everyone can relate to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are most of your songs coming from these days in terms of inspiration? Is it love?
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's more or less just life experience. You know, I think there's this notion where people think, oh, you've just gone through this, you need to go write about it immediately. And that's not always the case. It can happen. And sometimes you write a great song, sometimes you write a terrible song, being like, I miss you. No, but the reality is it's just your life experiences just all building up, and the ideas will naturally come together. Or you'll think about something from years ago and you go, I remember that, and it'll be something so random.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you almost have to sit with stuff in life, no? Like if something happens to you, right? Because it's funny that
Yeah.
sentiment though that a lot of fans and just people have, right? Like something happens to you on Thursday, you should get in that studio Thursday night, write about it, right? But you kind of have to sit with it, no, and see, okay, what did happen to me? How do I feel about it? And then how do you put that into music, right?
Exactly. There's actually two famous poets where they were friends. Wordsworth was one of them. He was like, in the moment, go write about it. His poems were actually always really happy. The other guy was really dark poetry, but he was like, you need to sit with it. You need to live with it for years. And that's how I kind of view songwriting, where it can be either or. It'll
Right.
just write in the moment, or you just sit with it.
How is for a musician, an artist, a songwriter like yourself? How can you tell if you're forcing it or not?
Probably when you go online, you go, what rhymes with over?
Have you done that? That's amazing.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Really?
There's nothing wrong with going like online to
Yeah.
Rhyme Zone, but that's when you realize, wow, I really don't know what to talk about today. Sometimes you need a little push. You know, that's okay.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is to literally just go on social media if I feel stuck, or just anything, just to get my mind off it and then come back, see what happens. Still nothing. Maybe I try the Rhyme Zone thing, but it's pretty normal. But that's okay.
In your opinion, do the best songs come along very quickly, or they take a long time?
I think the idea is quick. Like the actual, here's the melody, here's some of the lyrics. If you played it on a guitar, done. You could get it in probably 40 minutes. But to actually sit there, go back, and make everything cooler or sound cooler can take weeks, or days, or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there somebody you go to in your life, or maybe a couple people that you know that they'll give it to you straight, whether or not a song's ready?
Oh yeah, my mom's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Absolutely, my family's very straightforward. So, yeah, I mean, my sister, she manages me, and it's just all a family affair. So we're all very brutally honest about
That's
each
awesome.
other's work.
It's probably really important too.
Yeah, you need that because people, obviously, like when you're in this industry, you're writing about feelings. So you're probably dealing with pretty sensitive people. So it's just kind of nice to have like your family just look at you and go, no, that's great, or that's terrible.
Well, and they know you so well. Do you ever play them a song that you're thinking about putting out, and they go, "That's not you"?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah?
Literally like yesterday and last week and the week before that.
What kind of song? We probably maybe never hear it, but what kind of song did you play them and they said that?
It was more of a nod towards sexual vibe, kind of that surf retro rock. And they just looked at me and they're like, no, like you're evolving, your sound's evolving right now. So
Yeah.
why are you reverting back to what you've done before? And the song itself, it was just simply okay. It wasn't amazing, or it wasn't that special.
You think you were trying to make sexual vibe again? A little bit, maybe even like.
I've done that a great deal. I've literally tried to make 2.0 versions, 3.0 versions, and I've just realized there's no point. But also, it's a good song, but I could do better.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about the new song, Look Away.
Oh, totally. No, this is great. And actually, on the topic of family, was this the first song you worked with your brother on?
Yes.
So why was like the time now to collaborate with your brother?
I honestly don't know. I mean, one day he had texted me, and he said, "Can you play these these notes individually on the guitar through an iPhone?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's asked me to do that before, but I never see anything after that.
Is it ever with context, or is it just like
No, no context. It's pretty funny. And so I played the notes, gave him a couple versions with a pick, with my fingers, etc. And I woke up on my birthday, and I literally walked downstairs, and he made a riff out of it. And he was just like, "Oh, come in here, we're writing you a song." And I was like, okay. So then we sat down and we had our other buddy write lyrics with us, and we just cranked it out. It was pretty quick and it was seamless.
I wanted to ask you how that actually the song came to be, because there's so much going on in the song. The vocals sound great, but then there's so much production on top of everything. But it's really cool and unique production. It's almost like an earworm. It really catches on very quickly when you listen to this. How did it start? Did it start? It started with the riff, of course, as you just said. But then did you go lyrics and then you added all this stuff on top, or?
A production sketch was there.
Yeah.
And a melody was over it, and then we plugged the words in last.
Cool.
But the whole concept was there.
Yeah.
It's really funny when there's just mumble words, and out of nowhere, you'll hear certain words, and then those wind up becoming lyrics when you write songs, typically.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I know you're also kind of getting back to the lyrical subject matter of your songs. Is you like to focus on, a lot of love songs or a lot of songs about love. They're kind of broad, right? They're kind of vague. They talk about like the big idea of love, right? You like to focus though on sort of like the little moments, right?
Absolutely. I mean, vague, I don't know, maybe that's the right word, but it's just there's a lot that can happen in a relationship, and that can result in people, if they feel something, they might just tell their whole relationship story, or they may just summarize it as typical one. Your love's really bad for me, but I still miss it, or I want it, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it's done the right way, it's great. I mean, I could never write a song like that. Or Stay With Me. Yeah. So many people have tried to write a Stay song. I've even tried to write one. It wasn't that good. But the point is if you can find a very specific action feeling from your life experience that's emotional, probably comes from love, then that makes it a cool song. Yeah, I mean, Look Away, for example. I don't know. I feel like if we were to ask people on the street, being like, before the fight or after the breakup, and you saw each other, what's the first thing? Maybe you would be like, hey, or you would just. It's a real thing, is my point, and it's such a weird, minute thing because it's so specific, and that's what makes it a really cool song title.
Yeah. It's a cool way to approach songwriting, right? Is you find that one moment and then you just go super deep on it, right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite songwriters just doing music right now? Doesn't even have to be like household names or even artists, artist songwriters, but just songwriters in general that you really appreciate that inspire you.
Oh, I actually, when I was in Romania, there was this guy who I got to meet and work with a little bit. His name was Smiley. And I know nothing about Romanian music or the style, but I just thought it was very beautiful. I had no idea what he was saying. I was listening to the songs. There's a couple songs in English, but I was listening to the Romanian songs. And it's crazy to see how their country likes specific types of melodies and we like specific types of melodies. And just sitting there and appreciating the fact that it's just music coming in a different form was really interesting to me.
How do the melodies differ?
Oh, no chance I could sing them. They're crazy. They're almost like, I don't even know how to describe it.
But they're catchy.
Like a Latin Germanic language based, like Andrew Botticelli type thing.
Interesting.
Or Bocelli, yeah. I don't know. It's crazy, but it's just really cool.
But that's what's great about going over there and doing a trip like that, is because now you can come back and that informs your music, right? You can take whatever you liked about the Romanian pop and then adapt it to whatever's going on in America.
It was, yeah, that, and I mean, also just, whether the songs even do anything, just making friends.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the best part. Like, I can say I have friends from Romania now.
Yeah.
And they're actually in LA. I saw them a couple days ago.
Oh, right.
It was awesome. Yeah.
So, do you find it easy to make friends in a creative space like that, or is it a bit hard?
It is funny because sometimes you'll walk in the room you never met before. You're like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Let's go talk about our feelings for a couple hours."
Yeah.
And if you don't get a song, you'll probably never hang out with them again.
It's so weird, and they know so much about you.
And people just go right into it sometimes.
Yeah.
And they want to ideally get a song, and I've done it before too. But the pressure of we need to get a really good song, or it needs to at least be here. And if that's the case, you might be friends. Otherwise, you'll probably never work again. Maybe you'll see each other at this like Christmas party, and you'll look at each other and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Good. Good, everything good? Yeah, yeah." And that's about it.
It's really almost like a date.
Oh, it's blind dating. Yeah.
Totally.
It's crazy.
Are you going to do a video for Look Away? I heard that was planned.
Yeah. It's actually out, or will be out. I believe it's Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually shot it last week.
Okay.
In Palmdale, California.
Nice. What is Palmdale like?
Didn't see a lot of palms, actually. It's mostly a desert. But it was actually really cool. We were at this space. This guy had a huge obsession with Americana. So he built a set in the middle of the desert. Literally, the closest thing is 35 minutes, I think, and it's a Burger King.
Oh my gosh.
And on top of it, it was 102 degrees. We had one AC unit, and of course, it broke.
Yeah. And you got to like look cool in the video, so you can't look like you're sweating like crazy.
It's hard to look cool when you are literally sweating, yeah. So I was rubbing myself off with a towel, and I mean, on top of it, we're in a room. I mean, you'll be able to see it, or everyone will be able to see it. And you have to keep the doors closed, but I'm dying in there. 102 degrees, like just desert hot. It was painful.
Yeah.
But it was a great video, and it made everything worth it. And then the sunset was actually really cool.
And you got that in the video?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's rad.
That's great.
They got to figure out music videos because it's either like way too cold if there's like water involved, or it's way too hot like you're talking about in the desert.
Yeah, I've covered both bases, unfortunately. My first video, I was in a pool in a full suit on a floaty, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, for Half Gone, oh, I'll go to Toronto because romance, it'll be snowing. It'll kind of look like New York City around Christmas time. It didn't snow, but it was like -10. But I got to ice skate at least. I used to play hockey, so it's been a while.
All right.
And then this video, extreme heat. So I think for the next one, I'm going to pick something.
Like autumn, man.
Autumn sounds nice.
Yeah. Come back, walk through Central Park, make it romantic.
Yeah, and I won't be freezing or sweating.
Yeah.
I'll probably be sweating.
When did you make the decision to sort of cross over? Because you were writing songs for a number of people, and now you're obviously doing it for yourself. And we've seen this with, like Julia Michaels, of course, is a famous example that comes to mind. She made that jump. When was the moment for you?
So my jump actually started. Well, first of all, when I was trying to write for other artists, and I got in the room with some didn't come out, some little things came out, so that was a cool experience. But it was when I was actually going to sign a deal as a writer and producer. It was one of my last meetings, and I thought it was for that. And David, who's now the label that I'm signed to, he looks at me and he goes, "You should be an artist." And I was just like, no. And 3 more times. Called me like a month later. He's like, "I really think you should do it." And I was like, "No, that's not. I just want to be behind the scenes."
Why so quick?
Social anxiety. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's
So many people jump at that.
yeah. I genuinely like just writing music. I love the freedom of one day you're doing this type of song, the next day you're like I've worked with an array of people, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Didn't actually come out to be anything, or maybe it will be. Who knows? But I've worked with Spanish bands, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I've done like trap sessions, like urban, and I've learned I'm not very good at that.
No.
But, I got to do everything, and I liked that comfort. So the third time he says to me, "Come to New York, like, let's just talk about it." And that's when I kind of thought to myself, all right, what's the worst thing that happens? I can just go back to writing, but also put myself out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
So then I signed a record deal.
So how did he finally convince you? This guy just believed in you so much.
He's a Renaissance man. He's he's good with words, but also he's honest. And he made me want to believe in him because he believed in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that you are an artist, is there a vision for you where you want to take this thing, or is it almost like you're learning release by release?
I definitely hit the ground running, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a little bit of both. I have an idea, but I'm obviously going to need help with my team and my community. And I think everybody's on the same page. Just try to make great music. The next thing to do is definitely put out an EP before this year ends.
Yeah.
So
is that the goal?
Yeah, and get a body of work, because we have plenty of songs, but I just don't want to throw it out into the world as being like, here's a song, maybe this one will stick.
Yeah.
And rather it's, okay, let's be strategic. Let's find songs that have something in common, what are actually good songs.
Totally.
There's so many times after I write a song, I'll text my family, I'll be like, this is the best song I've ever written, and then they're just like, that's terrible. And I'm like, and then I don't know, 10 days later, or maybe that night, I listen to it and I think to myself, yeah, they were right, this is pretty bad. But that happens all the time, so it's also just developing that buffer of what makes a great great pop song.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's important you got those people around you.
Yeah.
Let's get to the first fan question. It'll come from the first row over here. I believe, maybe not.
Hi.
Row 4, actually.
Hello.
Sorry, can't read.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, that is an amazing question. I'm actually terrified of karaoke, and I've actually never done it. But the one time I did go to a karaoke bar, I didn't actually sing it, but my buddy put on "Crawling" by Linkin Park, and he had a great screamo voice. It was actually, he was pitch perfect, and I was just kind of like this, like, yeah, let him sing it. I've actually never sang karaoke. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
Maybe.
Crawling, man.
I know, that's a
I'd
weird
ask
one.
him after. Is like everything good? You going through anything? All right, let's get to the next fan question. Final one from right behind me.
Hi.
Hello.
I wanted to ask, since you act in your own music videos, is that something you eventually want to pursue?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't call myself an actor by any means, but they kind of just say, okay, sing to the song and just feel it, be in the video. And that was a learning curve. The first time I ever did it, I had no idea what I was doing. So I'm just getting more comfortable. Is it a pursuit of mine? I don't know. But I wouldn't say no. It could be fun. I have a really bad memory, so memorizing lines would be kind of tough.
Yes.
That's why melody's important, because I can memorize words too.
Right.
Yeah. Straight words, no chance.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah.
Who would play you in a movie?
Who would play me in a movie?
Yeah. If you could cast anybody.
Maybe if it was like midlife crisis me, I would love to see someone like a film director like Kevin Bacon playing me or something.
There you go.
But it's like me, 45, stressed out,
Totally.
and for some reason I just bought a Ferrari. I don't know. Like, that could be funny.
Still in that desert.
Yeah, also just someone funnier than me. I'm not that funny.
Right on.
I'm just honest, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. I'm down for some Kevin Bacon. All right, we are unfortunately out of time with Steven here today, but thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank
Where
you
can we
for having
keep up to date with you on social media? Is it just Steven Puth?
Yeah, just Stephen Puth everywhere. I learned a new phrase. The .com is like when you say, "Oh, the internet."
Oh, you called it .com?
No, I don't, but that's what someone said. I thought it was a thing.
I like it.
Try
It
to
could be
stay
a
up
thing
with the
now.
lingo. Yeah, no, it's Stephen Puth everywhere though.
No
Twitter,
tricky
Instagram.
underscores, none of that business.
No.
Awesome. The one and only guy, Steven Puth. Give it up for him.
Thank you.